Okay, so we've talked about adding mixed numbers, and we started subtracting mixed numbers. So let's take a look at a little bit more subtracting here. Let's do something like 24 and 2/3 minus 19 and 7/8. So I'm going to set this up vertically again. 24 and 2/3, 19 and 7/8. And once again, we need a common denominator, which is going to be 24. This is going to become 16. Yep, 3 times 8, so 2 times 8 is 16. This is going to become 21. Good. 8 times 3 to make 24. 7 times 3 makes 21. So now we go to subtract. 16 24ths minus 21 24ths. Can't. We're going to borrow from the 4, and this is a 3. What do we need to add here? The denominator is 24. So that's now 40 24ths. 40 minus 21 is 19 24ths. 3 minus 9 is an issue. We've got to borrow. This is a 1, and this is now a 13. 13 minus 9 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0, so it's just 4 and 19 24ths. Here, I'll go back for you. In your notes, do that one for me. So we do need common denominator, which will be 20. This is going to be 12 and 15. We subtract. 12 minus 15? Nope. So we 7 plus 20, so 32 20ths. Minus 15? 17 20ths. And 5. Any questions? Now let's step back to something we hinted at the beginning of the class. If we have 8 minus 2/3, we have a whole number minus a fraction. Well, what we have to do is we have to put 0/3 over here, kind of like we were doing with the addition. Now with the addition, it didn't matter because anything added to 0 is just itself. But now when we subtract, 0 minus 2 can't be done, so we're going to borrow from the 8 and make it a 7. And what we borrowed was 3/3. So 0 plus 3 is 3. This is now 3/3. 3 minus 2 is 1/3. And the 7. So if we have 4 minus 2/5, or 6. 6 minus 2/5. Thank you. So it's going to be 6 0/5 minus 2/5. And we have to borrow. The 6 will become a 5, and this becomes 5/5. So we're going to subtract 5 minus 2 is 3/5. 5 minus nothing is 5. So 5 3/5. Okay, next on our list. Five 1/3 times 7 1/4. Multiplying mixed numbers. Actually, multiplying mixed numbers is an extremely difficult process. In fact, bless you, if you were to go to the university and find 10 math majors and ask them to multiply mixed numbers, I would be willing to bet that none of them could do it correctly. So how do we do it? I just got a couple scared looks.
Should we take the denominator times the whole number, add the top number?
Exactly. We don't do it. We cheat. We turn them into improper fractions. To do that, it's 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16/3. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29/4. Now we're going to multiply them just like any other fraction. And just like any other fraction, we can cross cancel. 16 and 4 both divide by 4 to give us 1 and 4. Can we cross cancel 3 and 27? Or 3 and 29, I should say? No. So 4 times 29 is 116. 3 times 1 is 3. So 116 divided by 3. 3 goes into 11 3 times. That's 9 with 2. Bring down the 6. That's 8. 24 with 2/3 left over. 38 and 2/3. What do you think? Good stuff? Anybody curious as to how we would multiply them as mixed numbers just to see? Okay, there's 1 or 2 always. Good. 5 1/3 times 7 1/4. Do not write this in your notes. You will never be tested on it. It's just, I'm showing you just to show you that it's possible. If I have something like 32 times 26, not only do I have to do the 6 times 2, but I have to do the 6 times 3. Same here. Not only do I have to do the 1/4 times 1/3, but I have to do the 1/4 times the 5. So I'm going to start out with the 1/4 times 1/3, which is 1/12. Then I have to do 1/4 times 5, and of course that becomes 5 over 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 1 is 4. So 5/4 or 1 and 1/4. Then I have 7 times 1/3. That becomes 7 over 1. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3, which is 2 and 1/3. Then I have the 7 times 5, which is 35. Now I have to combine all that. I need a common denominator, which is going to be 12. So that's just 1/12. This is 1 and 3/12. This is 2 and 4/12. This is 35. 1 and 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8/12, which reduces to 2/3. 1 and 2 is 3, plus 5 is 8, and the 3. 38 and 2/3. I get the same answer. Oh, no, we avoid that at all costs. But you see, it is the same process as long. It's the exact same process as long multiplication with whole numbers. It's just it's ugly because of the fractions. From here on out, we will always multiply our mixed numbers using improper fractions. So let's get back to some more examples of that. So let's look at 3 4/5 times 7 3/8. Tell me what to do. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4 is 19/5. Good. And then?
8 times
7
7.
times 8 is 56. Plus 3 is 59/8. At this point, we would cross cancel. Can we cross cancel? No, we cannot. So what does that mean? Okay, so 19 times 59 is 1. Perfect. 1121. Yep. 5 times 8 is 40. So now we've got 1,121 divided by 40. 40 does not go into 1, does not go into 11. It does go into 112 twice. That's 80. With 32 left over. Bring down the 1. 40 goes into 321 8 times. That's 320 with 1 left over. So 28 and 1/40. Questions? Let's do another one. Let's do this. 6 2/5 times 3 1/8. Tell me what to do. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus 2 is 32. So 32/5. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. Over 8. And then? We can reduce if we can. What can we reduce? 5 and 25 both divide by 5 will give me 1 and 5. Anything else? 32 and 8 both divide by 8 to give me 1 and 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 1 times 1 is 1, so it is just 20. A lot of people don't think you can multiply two mixed numbers and get a whole number, but you can. So let's do this one. In fact, try that one in your notes. What the heck? So, what's this going to become?
22.
22 thirds. Oops, I don't know what happened there. 22 thirds, and this is going to be 23 fourths. Then what? I'm going to cross cancel, make it a little easier on myself. I can divide by 2 to get 11 and 2. You'll reduce to the same thing eventually. So now 11 times 23, 253. 3 times 2, 6. So 6 goes into 25. 4 times is 24 with 1 left over. Bring down the 3. 6 goes into 13 twice. That's 12 with 1 left over. 42 and 1/6. How many of you had 42 and 1/6? Okay. Doesn't matter if you go a longer way as long as you get there. Would you have 12 into 506, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Yep, that's fine. That works. It gets you there. So, we can look at something like this. How would we do that? We don't necessarily need to do that. We just need to make it a fraction, 7/1. And then this is going to be 2 times 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19 eighths. We can't cross cancel, otherwise we would. Or there's nothing to cross cancel here, I should say. 7 times 19 is 133. Over 1 times 8 is 8. Eight into 13 is 1, so there's 5 left over. Bring down the 3. 8 into 53 is 6, that's 48. 16 and 5/8. Okay, division. We went over division last time when we actually saw that division can be done straight across just like multiplication. It just doesn't work out well most of the time. So if I have something like 3/5 divided by 7/8, what do we do? How do we actually do that? We make it 3/5 times 8/7. We multiply by the reciprocal. And just like subtraction, the division works with the number that comes after it. So the dividing by 7/8 becomes multiplying by 8/7. So we do 3 times 8 is 24. 5 times 7 is 35. Can that be reduced? No. So that's it. Well, when we go into mixed numbers, like this, since we're going to turn it into multiplication, it makes sense that we do the same process we did with multiplication. And that is turning them into improper fractions. So 4 1/3 becomes 13/3. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 2 1/6 becomes 13/6. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Is this multiplication now? Still division. To make it multiplication, we have to do reciprocal. So instead of dividing by 13/6, it is times 6/13. And then cross cancel what? 3 and 6 both divide by 3 to give me 1 and 2. Is that it? 13 and 13 both divide by 13 to give me 1 and 1. So now 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Where's 2? They don't all work out that nicely. Sorry, I wish they would. But they don't. So let's do this one. Talk me through it. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 3 is 35 fourths. This is going to be divided by, very good, yep. And this will be, there you go, 2 times 8 is 16, plus 7 is 23 over 8. And then, does this become 4 over 35? No. It's the one we're dividing by that gets flipped. So times 8 over 23. Good. And then, reduce. Cross cancel 4 and 8 to get 1 and 2. And then, multiply. 35 times 2, 70. 1 times 23, 23. 23 goes into 70 3 times. 3 times 23 is 69, so there's 1 left over. 3 and 1/23. Oh, let's see here. 9 1/2 divided by 3 4/5. So this is going to be halves, of course, because the denominator never changes. This will be fifths. What's this going to be? 19. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 1 is 19. This one's going to be 19. Then what? 19 over 2 times 5 over 19. And of course, the 19s cancel. You get 5 over 2 or 2 and 1/2. That's not what I was shooting for, but that's okay. Let's do 7 7/8 divided by 2 and 1/3. What's this one going to become? 63 over 8. What's this one going to become? 7 over 3. Good. Now, can I cross cancel the 63 and the 3? No, because we're still in division. Very good. So 63 over 8 times 3 over 7. Now what? Now I can cross cancel. 63 and 7 both divide by 7. Give me 1 and 9. 9 times 3, 27. 8 times 1 is 8, which gives me 3 and 3/8. I'm going to have you try one on your own. Try that one. 9 1/3 divided by 2 2/7. Now what? It's going to be thirds. What's going to go on top of it? 28. Good. This will be sevenths. What's going to go on top of it? 16. Wonderful. And then? Perfect. 28 over 3 times 7/16. And then? 28 and 16 both divide by 4 to give me 4 and 7. And then 7 times 7 is 49. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 and 1/12. 4 times 12 will be 48. Not bad. Well, we can make it worse. Never? Now we can do something like this. This looks ugly, but it's no different than 2 plus 3 times 5 minus 7. Over here, what would we do first? We'd multiply. Same here, we're going to have to multiply. Now the difference is 3 times 5, we can just look at it and know it's 15. 2/3 times 5/8, we might have to write it out and do our cross canceling, the 2 and the 8. Cross cancel, divide by 2 to give me 1 and 4. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 4 is 12. So I can replace 2/3 times 5/8 with 5/12. Now what's next? Add 1/4 plus 5/12. Common denominator is 12. So that stays 5/12. This is going to become 3/12. 3 plus 5 is 8/12, which reduces to 2/3. Both divided by 4. So 1/4 plus 5/12 becomes 2/3 minus 1/6. And of course, all we have left to do is 2/3 minus 1/6. Common denominator is going to be 6. So the 1/6 doesn't change. This will be 4/6. 4 minus 1 is 3/6, or 1/2. Not so bad? Kind of iffy? Oh, come on. Icky. Try this one in your notes. Where would we start? Parentheses. 1/4 plus 1/3 is 7/12. Good. So we don't need the parentheses anymore. What would be next? Multiplication. 1/2 times 7/12 is 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 12 is 24. Hey. Made it too difficult on yourself. Now, 7/24 divided by 4/5. This is where you were going. You were a step ahead of us. Becomes 7/24 times 5/4, which is 35/96. And now to add 5/8 plus 35/96. 96 is our common denominator. 8 times 12, so 5 times 12 is 60, plus 35/96 is 95/96 minus 1/2. So we just have 95/96 minus 1/2. 96 is our common denominator. 2 times 48, so 1 times 48 is 48/96. We subtract to get 47/96. Where'd I lose you? You got it? How many had 4796? Couple? Some were really close? Okay. Another one? Perfect. I like that attitude. So 5/8 plus 2/3 times. On the quiz tonight? No, these will be on the quiz on Tuesday. Let's see. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Okay, try this one. Okay, we're a little short on time, so let's get through. Let's see what we do here. 1/5 plus 5/8 is 33/40. Now we have the 2/3 times 33/40. Well, 2 and 40 can cross cancel to give me 20 and 1. 3 and 33 cross cancel to give me 11 and 3. So that's now 11/20. Or not 11/20, 11/60. 3 times 20 is 60. Oh, that should be 1. That's right. That should be 20th. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. It's 5. It's after 5. My brain went home an hour ago. Sorry. So now we've got to divide 11/20 divided by 7/20. We're doing 11/20 times 20 over 7. Which means the 20s cross cancel, giving us 11 over 7. Or 1 4/7. So now we have the 5/8 plus the 1 4/7. Our common denominator is going to be 56. So this is 35/56. This is 1 and 32/56. Which combines to give us 77/56. Or 1 and 11/56. So 11/56. Carry the 1. So it's 2 and 11/56. Minus 1/4. Well, for the common denominator between 56 and 1/4 is 56. 1/4 times 14. So 1 times 14 is 14/56. So 2 and 11/56. Minus 14/56. We got to borrow. This will be 1 plus 56 gives us 67/56. 67 minus 14 is 53 over 56. And 1. So 1 and 53/56. Anybody get that? It doesn't matter. You got it there. That's what matters. No, not quite. Let's give you one just a little bit simpler. How's that sound? Just for me, it's easier to add and subtract with mixed numbers. If I had multiplication and division left to do, I would have left it as an improper fraction. But some people, it's easier to add and subtract as mixed numbers, as improper fractions too. So. Let's look at this one. What would we do first here? 3/4 to the power of 4. Now remember, we talked about this before. When you take a fraction to the power, take the numerator to that power and the denominator to that power. Careful, it's 3 to the power of 4 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. 4 to the power of 4 is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 is 256. So now we have the 5/6 times the 81 over 256. We can cross cancel the 6 and the 8. Both divide by 3 to give me 2 and 27. So now 5 times 27 is 135. 2 times 256 is 512. Now, unfortunately, common denominator between 3 and 512 is 1,536. You saw that all off the top of your head, right? Right. That's just multiplying 3 times 512. So this is going to become 1,024. 2 times 512. This is going to become row of 5. We add to get 1,429 over 1,536. Now you can look at that and you can very clearly see that both of those can be reduced by 3.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, that obviously.
Obviously, of course. Or can they? No, they can't, can they? No, they can't. No. So no, it's 1429 over 1536. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick on your calculator. Really cool little trick. My calculator on screen here doesn't have it, unfortunately. But many of you have a key on your calculator that looks like this. ABC. Or if you have one of the newer 2-line displays, it might look like this. A U over D key like that. That is used to enter fractions. On yours there, it's like the second row down and the second key in. It might be N over D. N over D? Okay. Nope.
Oh, there it is.
N over D.
Yes, N over D.
Okay.
Is this one?
Yep, that's the one. Yep.
Sometimes
Sometimes you just have like a generic fraction with like empty boxes like this too. If you have a Casio or a Sharp, it'll be like that. Okay. Now, depending on which calculator you have, if you have this button, if you want to enter like 2 and 3/5, you would do 2 ABC, 3 ABC, 5. If you have one of these other keys, you have to use the second function. So you're going to enter the 2 first, then use the second or shift and press that key. Then it usually will pull up like a little fraction like this, and you got to use the arrow keys to put the numbers in it. For those of you in New Richmond, if you have problems with your calculator over there, I talked to Kevin Salmon over there. He said he would be more than willing if you talk to him to show you the buttons. Obviously, over the network, it's hard to show you the buttons. But if you have problems, talk to him if I can't do it over the network. Otherwise, I can try to talk you through it here. Those of you here in Race Lake, I'm going to end the lecture now so I can walk around and help you with the buttons if you have any problems. But there is a difference. Some calculators, there's a difference between entering a mixed number and a fraction, too. You got to use the second key for a mixed number. And sometimes for just a fraction, you don't have to use the second key. But anyway, there is a new quiz due tomorrow, Friday, at 11:59 p.m. New homework due for Tuesday. And remember, Unit 2 test is next Thursday. There will be a little bit of time for review next Tuesday, yes. As much time as we have left, we'll use for review. Again, those of you in New Richmond, if you're having problems making that fraction key work, send me a message and I'll try to describe it over email. Otherwise, like I said, talk to Kevin Salmon over there. He'll help you out.